Yo, 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 yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, man. We're back for another night edition. We will be getting back to going regular time, all that good stuff tomorrow on Tuesday morning when we have a lot more games. Of course, I talked about this in yesterday's video, but the NCAA championship game will be on Monday night. So it's only 2 games in the NBA. They're not that great. The lines are moved already. So we'll talk about them. There are 2 plays that I'm eyeing, but the injury report is also terrible. Just trying to let you guys know what I'm thinking about betting based on the injury report. And we know there's a lot of manipulation that's going on, players getting rolled out at the last minute. It's the last week of the NBA. A lot of these teams don't have anything to play for, and the teams that do typically are playing against teams that don't. So, let's jump into it for today, man. Yesterday, I sent out just the one official play. Kind of just kind of taking it lightly. It was Minnesota and New Orleans under the 223. I'm actually sweating that out right now. It's the third quarter, and it's kind of looking like it's going both ways. 1 minute, it seems like it's a lot of points being scored. The next minute, it's not. But hopefully, we end up getting some cash there. As far as the short list for today, it did not do well. Sundays are typically not kind to me. I'm glad I laid off. Chicago and Charlotte under 227.5 would have been a loser if I bet that. Toronto, Brooklyn under 214.5, even though that started off pretty good, would have been a loser. Glad I didn't bet that. OKC looked absolutely trounced by my Lakers. Didn't score 122. The Knicks didn't get to 119. And Golden State and Houston is looking like it's going to go under. So it would have been a pretty terrible day for me. 2-4, I think it would have been. So I'm glad I didn't make all the plays that I talked about yesterday. But neither here nor there. Let's jump into it for tomorrow. First off, we'll start off with jaXon as we always do. And the injury reports are so crazy right now that we actually don't even have player props available for either game at the time of the recording. I was actually looking to try to potentially make some player props, and I'll tell you guys the ones I'm looking at, but none of the lines are available right now. So the prompt that I asked jaXon here today was, would they take the Pistons or would they take the Kings, ATS, based on last 10 games specifically? And jaXon gives me a nice little table with the ATS records for both teams. Got the Pistons being 4-6 at home. 4-6 overall, 5-5 against the spread in their last 10 games, 4-6 against the spread on the road. Kings 3-7 against the number overall. And then it gives the slight edge to the Pistons here, ATS-wise, particularly at home where they're 5-5 in their last 10. Kings, on the other hand, have struggled, covering just 3 of their last 10 spreads. They are coming off a spread tonight. We'll talk about the game in just a second. But it says the Pistons have been solid offensively, averaging 115 points per game while maintaining a positive point differential, plus 2.3. Their rebound edge, plus 2.6, could be a factor against the Kings. The Kings have been slightly better offensively, averaging 118 points per game, but their defense has been less consistent. They allow more rebounds than they grab, minus 2.2 differential, which could be exploited by the Detroit Pistons in this game as well. It looks like the jaXon with later points here. It says based on the last 10 games, the Pistons have a slight edge ATS, particularly at home. The Kings have struggled to cover the spread, and their rebounding disadvantage makes Detroit the more reliable pick in this matchup. So Detroit minus the 7 is what jaXon likes in this game. And let's just head over to that game. First game up, Kings and the Pistons, line open. I saw a 7. I saw it go down to 5. I saw it back up to 7. And you got a bad situational spot here for Sacramento. We'll start with that. Sacramento did get a big win tonight. They needed that win. They are still playing for something. Detroit is still playing for something as well. They have clinched the playoff, a top 6 spot, but they can still move up, I think, to 5th, especially if the Bucks mess around and lose to the Pelicans tonight. So 2 teams playing for a lot. Injury report first. Tobias is questionable. Jalen Duren is questionable. And both of those guys did miss the last game. Keegan Murray missed the game against the Cleveland Cavaliers. He could potentially not play in this game. I'm expecting everybody else to play for the Kings. We'll see what happens with the injury report. Now, the situational spot here for the Kings, last of a 6-game road trip. It's a terrible spot, meaning they've traveled 7 straight games, and now they're unrested. I think that sets up well for Detroit. We just faded Detroit successfully against against Memphis on Saturday night, and we got some money in that one. Found the winner, and I think the Pistons are the right side. I don't really like laying too many points with the Pistons. They have not been necessarily the greatest team at home when they're laying points. This season, they're just 18-20 against the number at home. And as a favorite, I think it's actually a little bit worse than that. Real quick, I don't even think I wrote it down and jotted it in my notes. But as a home favorite, the Pistons are just 7-11 against the number. 7-11 against the number. They do have the major rest advantage here. Cade Cunningham, second game back, he was a little rusty. They only scored 103 points the other day against the Memphis Grizzlies. They were dominated on the boards. I think they lost the rebounding battle by 18 points to the Memphis Grizzlies. I don't think that's going to happen again. Sacramento is not a great rebounding team. I know that they had a really good night last night. I think you fade them in this spot. A couple different ways I was looking, and I'll tell you guys why. So the other thing about Sacramento is that they're not a good team on the second leg of a back-to-back. They're just 4-11 straight up. 3-12 against the number are the Kings when they're playing unrested this season. They've actually failed to cover 7 straight times when they played unrested. So 7 games in a row, they have not failed. They failed to cover the spread. Detroit has played also the much harder strength of schedule in the last 5 games. Actually, second most difficult schedule. They have games against Memphis, Cleveland, Minnesota, OKC, and I think it was one very, very lackluster opponent in there. But yeah, and it's not too much shade towards Sacramento, because if DeRozan and Zach LaVine get to cooking the way that they were tonight, and Sabonis needs to be triple teamed by the Cleveland Cavaliers like he was against the Detroit Pistons like he was last night, it's going to be a tough matchup. But we know Cleveland isn't really playing right now. They're kind of, just going through the motions, man. Not liking what I'm seeing from Cleveland right now at all. There's no way I was going to lay the points with them tonight. Sacramento went in there, stole one. I do think Detroit is the right side. A couple of different ways I thought about playing it. Initially, I thought about Sacramento team total under. They've been an under team recently. It's kind of struggling to score the basketball, not playing with a lot of pace either. Detroit defensively can be really, really good. The problem with Detroit and playing an opponent team total under is they play so fast. They're second in pace in their last 5 games. So do I think that they should be able to score the basketball against against Sacramento? I do. So I also lean towards the Detroit team total over rather than playing the Sacramento specifically on their team total under. So we'll go Detroit team total over in this game if I'm playing it. But I do want to see what happens with Toby Harris and Jalen Duren. We'll see what happens with those guys. Also, it's nice to see what happens with Keegan Murray if he's going to be able to make a return in this game as well. Like I said, no player props at the time of this recording for either one of these games. So we'll leave it there for this game specifically. Move on over to the next. Next, the last game on the board is the 76ers versus the Miami Heat. This line is moving already. I see it all the way up to 14 on a couple books, open 12. And I'm expecting the money to keep coming in on the Miami Heat. It's interesting, though, because the Miami Heat are also pretty decimated. Both of these teams decimated by the injury report. Starting with the Sixers, we know that they have been without a lot of key players. It will continue tonight. Kyle Lowry is questionable. Justin Edwards, who they really need, he's listed as questionable after getting hurt in that game against the Minnesota Timberwolves last game. Gershon Yabusele's already ruled out. There's no Kelly Oubre. And then on the Miami Heat side of things, Hayward Highsmith is questionable. Alex Burks is questionable. Wiggins is questionable. Tyler Hero, after missing the last game, is also questionable with that thigh contusion. So, like I said, it's an ugly, ugly slate, man. Trying to find something, though. And if I had to play this game, I'd be laying. I know the 76ers also just covered the spread. I think they get smoked in this game. They covered against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Timberwolves just kind of going through the motions in that game. The 76ers were a little bit more healthier in that game as well, and they're not going to be as healthy in this one. We got to keep a couple things in mind. The Sixers is not a real basketball team. They're not a good basketball team, just 15-24 against the spread on the road. They also just 1-9 against the spread in their last 10 games. The only game that they covered in their last 10 was the one against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I know that the Miami Heat laying 12.5 points for them is not attractive. However, they've been profitable at home, 21-18 against the number. They're 9-1 against the spread in their last 10 games. They've won and covered all 3 matchups against the Philadelphia 76ers team. Pat Riley just kind of owns the matchup against the Philadelphia 76ers. It don't matter if Glenn's coaching, Glenn Rivers, or they got Nick Nurse. It don't really matter. The Sixers also, since the All-Star break, 4-8 against the spread, 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 on the road. And you kind of go through and start looking at some of the advanced numbers. Philly is the 6th worst defense, the 4th worst offense in their last 5 games. Meanwhile, you got a Heat team that's starting to heat up offensively. 5th in offensive rating, 5th in defensive rating last 5. They're rebounding the ball really, really well. And it shouldn't be a lot of ways for Philly to be able to score the basketball here. I immediately looked at a Philly team total under. The number's like 99.5. That's a little scary, man. Can they get there? Yeah, they can. They got an offensive rating of like 106 in the last 5 games, but I don't want to be sweating out of 99.5. Also, going back to what Philly likes to do, they've been attacking the rim, second in rim frequency last 5 games. Shouldn't be there. Miami's been putting a lot of pressure on opponents, keeping them away from the rim. Khalil Ware down there, Bam Adebayo. They should be able to protect the paint, in my opinion. They are 9th in opponent rim frequency in the last 5 games. So they are doing a pretty good job protecting the paint. Philly's not a team that shoots a ton of threes or makes a ton of threes. That's been one of their Achilles heel all season. It's also been the Achilles heel for the Miami Heat defense recently as well. They've been struggling to guard the 3-point line. But 76ers, unless they get hot, probably won't be able to score from the 3-point line. Philly also, of course, the team that, doesn't get out a lot in transition. Miami's transition defense has been pretty good. Philly doesn't. They're also one of the bottom 5 rebounding teams. So Miami should be able to do whatever it is that they want to do in this game. Ultimately, what I landed on, after thinking about the under, right? Because the totals in the series between these two teams this season are 3-0 to the under. 212.5, 220.5, and 215.5. All have went under. However, the Sixers on the road since the All-Star break, 9-3 to the over. Allowed 124 points per game. So for me, this is either Miami, and I know Miami plays very, very slow. They're not a team that gets up and down the floor, but I'm thinking Miami Heat team total up and over 114.5, or just potentially laying the 12.5, thinking that they win this game by 20. I think both of those things are in the realm of possibility. I do want to kind of wait and see who's going to be active in the game and how the injury report shakes out, though, for both teams, because I think Justin Edwards means a lot to the 76ers, given they're down so many players as well. So that's my thought process there. As far as player props, the one that kind of stands out to me in this game, and the one that I'm looking at probably a little bit more than any other, Tyler Hero, if he plays, his 3-point prop, I think should be money. If he doesn't play, a Duncan Robinson 3-point prop should probably be good as well. He'll shoot a bunch of threes. The 76ers don't defend the 3-point line well, but more so than either one of those, Khalil Ware should dominate the boards in this game, in my opinion. I think a Khalil Ware double-double, a Khalil Ware rebound prop to go up and over should also be something to highly consider in this game. And we'll see what the number opens up at. And if I end up playing anything, I will share it with the members. So like I said, just the ugly 2-game slate. Gave you guys my thought process. Miami Heat team total, think they can get to 120 against this Philadelphia 76ers defense, or just later points, 13.5, 14.5, whatever the number is, thinking that they can win by 20. And in Sacramento, team total under 112.5, or a Detroit team total over. I do think Sacramento could struggle to score. I don't think that they're going to be able to score in the paint as much. Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan don't both go crazy like they did against Cleveland tonight. It could be a really long night for them. So I haven't made anything official yet because the injury reports are ugly, as they always are. But it's an ugly slate, man. Just trying to help you guys think the game out. This is how I'm thinking it out. So take with that information, do what you want, man. Check the resources out. Outlier, Moneyballer, jaXon, all the good tools that I use to handicap the games. There's referral codes for all of them in the description of the video. And that'll be the show, man. Like I said, we'll be back on Tuesday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think it's about 10 games on Tuesday. So we'll dive into those, see if we can find some early ones, see if we can find some ones that actually matter. And enjoy your Monday, man. Shout out to my guy Sly as well for sending me this dope beat, man. Love this beat. And go have it in the rotation moving forward. Appreciate you, Sly. That'll be the show, man. Best of luck on, like I said, whatever you guys are betting. Enjoy your Mondays as well, man. I'll catch you guys Tuesday morning, 7:30 a.m. I'm out.